to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. Greatest topics of the world like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali.
Safasa pelisizo simnyama Iwasafa Isizo saba Kamula mola Haimimpo kalize Wenhaye wemodo Safasa pelisizo simnyama Iwasafa Isizo saba Kamula mola Haimimpo kalize Maya ngiyakhala Pasapasa pelisizo sinyama Iwasafa Isizo sabantu Allahulava Haninkokhelize Maya wemodo
Poussière à la poussière. Poussière.
Safa phela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
Isizwe saba
kavula moya ayimpoka lize wemaye wemodo wasafa phela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
Isizwe saba
kavula moya ayimpoka lize wemaye ngiyakhala wasafa phela isizwe simnyama.
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. Greatest topics of the world like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali.
poussière à la poussière.
Freedom is coming tomorrow. Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom. Freedom is coming tomorrow. Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom. Freedom is coming tomorrow. Yeah, oh, listen to mama. Yeah, oh, listen to mama. Yeah, oh, listen to mama.
Poussière à la poussière.
All right, thank you guys for taking your time to come and join the show tonight. My name is Ali Melikan. I'll be the host for tonight, and thank you so much. I see that we already have three speakers who are joining us, the likes of Toby Manova and also Sibu Shabangu and CDE Makula. Oriel also have joined us. Thank you so much, guys. Happy Father's Day to those who are also joining. We don't have fathers on our side. Happy Father's Day to everyone who's joining us, and thank you so much, guys. I'm aware that we have a couple of people who will be joining us on the house tonight. The likes of FL Maboa, Prof. Adolf, and also Shabangu, and and many more. And also, we acknowledge your presence, Toby Malova. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining the show. And we see that we also have some students who are also watching us from CS Valo campus. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, tonight's show, we'll be looking at what is the biggest problem facing the youth of today. A lot of problems which the youth is facing today. That's why we invited the youth to come in the house and help us to digest the motions, because you are aware that we have fought from the autocratic government to the democratic government, but still even today, we are not even, okay, I see that some are joining out and in. I don't know what's happening. It might be something wrong. All right, we're about to start the show in 2 minutes to come. Just waiting for all the speakers to tonight. Let's take a short break. Coming there, we're going live.
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. Greatest topics of the world like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali.
All right, thank you so much, guys, for taking your time to come and join the show tonight. I will start with you, Mr. Malova. I don't know what I have to say, Advocate Malova. I have to say Malova. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening to you, sir. Also to the other viewers, good evening. Where to start? Do we have to start straight away from discussing
No,
the main?
introduce yourself to the house. Introduce yourself to the house, brother.
All right. My name is Dobi Maloba. I am from Limpopo, Hamasha village.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maloba. We're moving along to Sibu Shabangu. Sibu Shabangu, please unmute and introduce yourself to the house.
Hello everyone listening, and thank you so much to the host for this opportunity. My name is Sibu Shabangu, and I am 19 years of age, and I reside in Nelspruit, the place of the rising sun. I live by the motto that I am somebody that makes everybody feel like a somebody. I am also a model, and I'm currently a finalist for Miss Teen World South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We're moving along to Frank. Frank, introduce yourself to the house. Please unmute.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ali, for this opportunity. And then good evening to everyone in the studio. As you know, my name is Frank Maboa. I'm from Limpopo in the smallest village, Hamasha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're moving along to City E. Makola Oro. Please unmute.
Thank you, Mr. Malekan. I would like to greet everyone, to listeners, those who are watching, and everyone. I'm Makola from Limpopo, Skinod. I'm SG of Skukune, EFF Student Command. Yes, I can say from for now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the panels, still waiting for other speakers to join. Tonight we'll be looking at the problems which the youth is facing of today. We'll be looking on their lifestyle. We'll be looking on the political and social issues, the lack of employment opportunities, failure to succeed due to the educational system that is being used currently. Those are the issues that we'll be digesting in the house. First thing first, before we can even touch any of the motion that we're having in the house tonight, I'll just give you a round. Please make sure that you use 1 minute or less. I'll start with you, Advocate. What's your take? Looking at the problems which the youth of today is facing. I'll start with you, Mr. Malova. Go through before we come to the motions that we have.
From my view, I would like to firstly acknowledge that youth of today have enough opportunities as compared to the youth of the previous days, and also especially the youth of South Africa has more opportunities as compared to the other youth of other parts of Africa. It is the part I would like to first acknowledge. And also I would like to point out that it is of no any help to keep on whining on all the problems we have as youth. We have to focus on the little we have before we can keep on whining. It is, the least I can say up to now, that as youth of South Africa, we should learn to first acknowledge the opportunities we have. Although we are facing the issues of high unemployment rate and many other problems as a nation, but we have to first acknowledge the little we have before we can touch on everything.
All right, thank you so much, Mbara. Very quickly, we're moving to Shabangu. Shabangu, before we touch any motion that you have in the House, what is your take on the challenges or the problems which are facing the youth of today?
Thank you so much. I believe that there are many issues the youth is facing. I could name a list, but to keep it short, I would definitely say it is the failure in education systems, and also the high unemployment rate in our country, because the high unemployment rate in our country is just so derailing when it comes to the youth. It affects them in their studies, because it demotivates them to school. Because what is the point of going to school when you know that even when you're done graduating, it is not guaranteed that you're going to get a job? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Shabanku. Let's move to Frank. Frank, what is your take on the motion before we touch it in detail?
Thank you, Mr. Ali. My take on this motion before we go any further is that, like, okay, Sharp, I do acknowledge with everyone to say that the youth of now, we have so many opportunities, and then we have those resources to uplift and equip ourselves in anything and everything that we want to be. But then again, we still have a challenge when it comes to us going forward, because of we do have those things. But then if you come to check, like the lady just said, that people, our education system is failing us. Yes, it's failing us. And then the other issue is that we still have, or we still rely on connections in many things. So that is the other issue that we are facing, because we do go to school, but then again, if you don't have those connections, you are failing. I'll just leave it there in short.
All right, thank you so much. We're moving to Siri Makola.
Thank you, Mr. Malegan. It's just I didn't hear you very well, but then I think
I was saying that before we touch the four motions that we have in the House, what is your take on the challenges or the problems which the youth of today is facing in less than a minute? So what is your take before we can touch the motions that we have for tonight?
Okay, yeah, now I can hear you. Okay, thank you. I think as youth, we are having a lot of challenges. We are having a lot of challenges because we focus too much on education, whereby I believe the reason why we are facing these challenges is because education was made to benefit one white monopoly. And then the education system is now failing the youth of South Africa, especially blacks, you understand? And then the other challenges, the reason why we're facing the following these challenges, it's because we live to impress. Especially blacks, we live to impress. So now, I think we're going to embark on the issues, and then that's when we'll be able to unpack each and everything and then put it on table. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much from the one joining in the House, the likes of Tomalova, Sikushabanku Frank, and also Oren Makula. Thank you so much, guys, for your views. Now we're going to start with the first motion. It is said that they say that the youth of South Africa is the problem when it comes to the lifestyle. Some are saying that social media is influencing them because of, you find that most of them, they will say that, oh, you know what, not about this kind of level, not about this kind of level, because of social media is influencing them. They're saying that the youth of South Africa in general is a problem. Looking at the lifestyle of today, it's a problem in detail. I could say that some are even saying that looking on the girls, the lifestyle that most of the girls are living today, it's a problem. Most of them, they're coming from poverty, families which they're not able to take care of them, which is a chaos. Now, some of them, they just keep on going to the streets, dating people in order for them to get money. We see a lot of guys, they're trying to maintain their standard by stealing, by becoming thieves. You know what? It's chaos. I want to start with you, Toby Malova. What is your take on this one? Youth lifestyle of South Africa. I will start with you, Mr. Malova.
I would like to get the clarity on the statement you just mentioned just now. You are saying, what is my take on the lifestyle of youth of South Africa at the moment? Something more like
looking on the challenges that they're facing. We are aware that most of them, they are feeling pressure, my brother, in terms of them maintaining the lifestyle. That I don't know if you get the motion, or should I explain it in detail?
Okay, I think I get what you are coming from.
All right.
At the moment, I can say, based on the lifestyle of youth, we are failing to live within our means, which is one of the problems we are facing at the moment. If we may more like practicing financial literacy, being able to live within our means. So even if we get the idea of venturing into entrepreneurship, we may still have the capacity to drive ourselves within entrepreneurship level. Unlike to only expect assistance from the government without attempting to uplift ourselves. It won't help us in any way if we keep on looking up to the government to spoon feed us with everything, starting from the educational part up to the increment and entrepreneurship and so on.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you so much for that. I'll move to Sibu Shabangu. Sibu Shabangu, what is your take? Because it has been said that the spending behavior, just to add on what Mr. Maloba just said, it has been said that the spending behavior of the youth of today is also it's also abnormal. So I also just want to get your take, Sibu Shabangu, in detail, looking on the problems which are being faced by the youth of today in relation to their lifestyle. We see most of them, they find their lifestyle, they're working very hard, but they spend a lot of money just trying to make sure that, they wear expensive clothes. Oh, it's a chaos. What is the take, Sibu?
My take on this is that the youth has put so much effort into impressing society, and I believe that social media has a huge impact on this, because I feel like on social media we have people. Let me make an example. We have these influencers, and we have people competing against each other on who can spend the most money, who can buy the most Gucci bags and Louis Vuittons. So this is also a negative thing, because it is more susceptible to peer pressure, low self-esteem, and mental health. A lot of people now are suffering from depression because of this. They're trying to maintain the standards that social media has put out there, which aren't really good. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I will move to Frank.
Okay, sharp. Thank you, Ali. Yes, the lifestyle of our youth, including us, it's so heavy. It's massive, as I can say. But then, guys, why do we have to compete with others? You can work for the same company and the same money, but then again, we do have different responsibilities to start with. So for me and you to say that we're earning the same salary doesn't mean we can live the same lifestyle. And then the other one is that, guys, let's minimize how we live, or let's minimize, or let's try to avoid this lifestyle of influencers and then living for the content. Like some places or some things, they're not for everyone. It's not everyone who's gonna wear those expensive clothes, and there is nothing wrong with you just having to to dress so simple in a smart casual way. Like there is no one who's forcing you to go and buy something that you don't afford, because there is this thing that sometimes as youth, sometimes we think affording something, it means like you can have it, but then it doesn't mean you can have it, because you can afford to top up that 1,000 rand at that moment. But then if you're having to check the same 1,000 rand that you spend today, it's gonna affect you for the next coming 15 days or 10 days. So why do you still go out to spend that money if you know it's gonna affect you in the long run? Like, let's everyone try to live by their own means. Yes, we see people on Instagram, like all these social media platforms, they're living their lifestyle, but then you need to know some people, they have their lives being sponsored by certain things that they are not telling you. So before we go to compete, guys, let's come to think of it. Am I ready for this thing, or do I meet the criteria to be this influencer in this content? Thank you. I'll just leave it there in short.
All right, thank you so much. We are moving to Makola Oreo.
Thank you, Mr. Malekan. We on the topic of lifestyle, youth lifestyle. Like I've said in the first place, to say no, most of you we are living to impress. That's where we are losing it. And then the reason why we live to impress, it's because of the environment. I think environment matters most towards our lifestyle, towards our future, towards everything. Because now, I can give you a simple scenario to say someone is 18 to 30 years old and still have no investment, savings, or education, no plans. Understand? Just alcohol, weekend lifestyle, relationship goals, and everything. But then one day, for my advice is you will wake up, understand? You'll be 40 or you'll be 50. That's when you'll realize to so now. The life that I was living it was just to impress the streets and friends. I think as blacks we need to wake up and fight for ourselves.
We cannot hear you, Oriel. Mr. Mahola, are you still there?
Yes. So I'm still there. So I was just trying to highlight to say no. There's huge difference between enjoying our lifestyle and destroying our future. There's huge difference. We need to be wise when coming to those issues. So now, as youth, the lifestyle that we are living now, it's very enjoyable. We are living in a world whereby we are enjoying this thing of going out, weekends lifestyle, alcohol, and what, of which those lifestyles are not for everyone. Remember, you need to check from different family backgrounds, I can see. But then, whatever decision that you take today, just remember in the next coming maybe 15 years, your children will be either going to sleep with empty stomach or stealing from food or with full stomach because of the decision that you took today. So we need to be careful in every decision that we take, because the decisions that we're taking now, they are affecting our future. It might seem light now, but then in the next coming 15 years, the decision that you took today, it will affect you, your children, your grandchildren, and everyone. I think for now, let me just cut there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Terry Maloba, Sibu, and Frank, and also Oriel. Yes. You can come in. You can come in.
Okay. Up to now, I think we are on the same view about this issue of youth problems. So, in addition to that, I would like to mention that. As youth of South Africa, we are rushing towards pursuing what we often call soft life before we can undergo the process of working hard for whatever we want to achieve. We want to take shortcuts, which is the main thing, which is somehow derailing us from the proper journey we are embarking. In addition to this point, I would like to further say, wait, I didn't get my point.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a moment.
Not a problem, my brother, not a problem. You're allowed to make sure that you get all the facts in the table, because I like what Oriel and Frank and Siba also say. Yeah, please go through.
Yeah, I would like to put it in the context of the Father's Day, since today we are on the 19th of June, which is Father's Day. So as youth of South Africa, one of the biggest mistakes we often do is to have multiple babies with different people unnecessarily or recklessly, to be specific with the issue. And in the long run, that tendency is pulling us back, including the female's part and the male's part. And even the generation we are building a very ugly generation, whereby we are contributing towards making sure that most of the Black people in the community don't have their paternal figure and so on. Such factors are one of those things we are contributing towards poverty of the nation.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Manoa. What was that one before I go to Shabangu and also Frank? Very quickly, I want to start with you, Toby. Now, on the first motion, when we're talking about the lifestyle of the youth, some mentioned peer pressure, some mentioned that the social media might be, a peripheral. Some also mentioned that some are being sponsored by other things which we don't know, in order for them to, buy those expensive clothes and expensive cars. And it's a problem. Now I want to know, what are the possible solutions to this problem of whereby we see people overspending, people stealing because they want to go out on weekend and dress to kill, impress, and all these things. What are your solutions, like the solutions that you can propose on the table?
The solution can be the solution on this part that most of us are not financially literate and we are easily influenced by the peer pressure. The solution on it can be actually the
Yeah.
solution cannot come out from the external environment. It should be within an individual, although it can come from the external environment, but to larger extent, I can
Yeah.
say it should be an individual choice whether you wanna pursue what kind of lifestyle. So we can pass the kind of lifestyle or mindset to the upcoming generation. It cannot be something which can be taught because already this thing is being preached all over the community that we have to be financially smart. We also have to be conscious of the people we associate with, but it continually keeps on happening. I think this kind of
Yeah,
mindset.
I think there's a POI. There's a POI. Okay. While the other speaker is busy speaking, if you have anything to say, you're allowed to go on the private chat and say POI. I think there's a POI that is coming from Oriel Makola. Oriel, why are you rising a POI on? Oriel, you're muted. Please unmute.
I, okay, can I come in?
Yes, please come in. After that, Frank will come in.
Mr. Malakan, I can. Oh, sorry?
Yes, go through.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Malakan. I wanted to add on the on this item of youth lifestyle. And I want to add in terms of relationship because I think relationships have got a lot of impact towards our lifestyle and then they are affecting our future. Why I'm saying this? Now, let me start on a male gender. Uh, on a male gender, we live to impress in a way that we like that lifestyle to say no. I have a lot of girlfriends. I mean, what is the use of having a lot of girlfriends? Because if you can only choose one, because myself, I raise issue and then I come up with a solution. I raise issue, I raise a point, and then I give solution. So now, what is the use of dating more girls? Because I think if you can choose one, be wise, choose one, make her your queen, uh, respect her. Because I believe if you in a relationship with somebody, né, reputation and dignity of that particular person is within your hand. You understand? Because whatever that you're doing out there, those people that knows if you're dating that person, they'll be saying no. Hey, boyfriend of Ali is doing this and this and this. Of which that's where we are losing it. I think we should be wise when coming to the issues of relationships. Be wise. And then in terms of girls,
what are the resolutions, Oriel? What are the resolutions looking at the problems that we are busy posing? What are the resolutions in less than a minute? What are the resolutions, the solutions?
I think we resolutions for all these things. I think we must start to think out of box and then see life with mission and vision. Because if we can have vision and mission, which are core values, that's when we will not have a clear direction. Why I'm saying this? It's because now if you only see where you are, that's where you won't be able to plan ahead to say no. In the next maybe coming 2 years, I want to see myself here and there. So we need to think out of a box. We must take ourselves out of that comfort zone and challenge the world with our uniqueness. Because things are often impossible until they are done. Once an impossible thing was done, people commence to know that this thing it was possible. Meaning, if we can think out of the box, we can always come up with something new which can benefit you. But then otherwise, because we are lazy to think, that's why we always know if things are possible because they are already in place because of someone else. Yeah. For now, can I just end?
All right, not a problem, not a problem. Before I take the POI that is coming from Frank, I see that there's a comment coming from the YouTube channel. from I think it's Relobile Maboti, saying that the major issue I see at hand is financial literacy. Black people as a whole were never taught how to be financially literal. Wow, what a point. Okay, very quickly, I want to move to Frank. Frank, what are you raising a POI on?
Thank you, Ali. I just want to come to the previous speaker. Is it Makolane? Yeah. So, like, I just want to agree with him on this issue of the youth lifestyle, where he was talking about the girlfriend issues. Yeah, like, it is true, my brother, that when it comes to boys, if you can check when it comes to men, sorry for that, when it comes to the male part, most male, they're becoming broke, whereas the ladies, they are becoming rich and richer. So you can see already, it's guys that they're being had, or it's guys that they are going in the wrong direction, and then they go in the wrong direction trying to impress the ladies, as there is this narrative of Indodamas. So guys, I'm just gonna advise you. I'm not saying do not love your partners. I'm not saying do not like girls and stuff. It's right, guys. Makola is right. You just have to choose one and then try to build with the one that you choose. If the one that you chose for yourself, you see where this person is not elevating in the direction that I'm going, please pack whatever that we came with in that relationship and take your energy somewhere else, because it doesn't help that when you are being pushed to this narrative of Indodamas, whereas the member Yena herself, she's not providing anything in that relationship. You are the only one who's being financially constrained in that relationship. So, like, in the end of the day, if you're going to check, it's going to be 5 years, 10 years, 7 years. When you check, most of your energy or most of your money was invested in that relationship, of which it was not fruitful. The person left you, like, you are stressed, you are depressed, alone there. Yeah, now she's having another lifestyle because she was only dating you for the lifestyle, which is another factor when it comes to us.
So what you're saying, Frank, is that there are ladies who date people, there are ladies who date, there are ladies who date us in order for them to maintain their lifestyle, which means these people are having issues. That's what you're saying, Frank?
Yes, my brother. That is what I'm saying there. I'm not promoting anything here, but like, I'm just advising youth generally. So from the male and the females, that guys, please, we are fighting against poverty. We are not fighting against each other here. The aim or the objective of the day is poverty. So let's always minimize the demands in relationship, guys. To the ladies, please minimize. You are stressing a lot of guys out there. You walk around, you see how guys, they are stressed. There is something called girlfriend allowance. People will tell you that, okay, Sharp, for you to date me, you must have this money. You must give me this money. Of which I think we did once have this topic. But again, as we are still in youth, I'm just going to emphasize it again that, guys, as a youth, please, our objective is poverty. We all want better future. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to build each other by not forcing other people, like, to do things for us. Or if you feel like someone is living a certain lifestyle, ask the person, how are you affording this lifestyle? How are you buying this and that? How are you going forward every day? Like, I see you're working and I'm working the same job with you. Like, what is there for you that you're doing? Because, guys, you cannot copy something that you are not sure where it comes from. How do you copy that lifestyle if you don't know where it comes from? So
it makes sense. It makes sense, Frank. Please wrap up your point, Frank, because I see there's a POI that's come from Malova. But before I take the POI from Malova, I want Shabangu to come in. So please wrap up your point.
Okay, in wrapping up, I'm just gonna say, please, guys, let's try to build each other. Let's not destroy each other by demanding certain things that we can see is impossible. Even you yourself, you cannot do it for yourself. Let's not do that thing, guys. Please, I'm closing it that way.
All right, not a problem. Before I take the POI to you, Malova, and then the other one before it's from Makula, I want to bring the lady in the house so that we can hear what the lady is saying, looking at what you guys are saying and looking at the resolution to the problems, the likes of the girlfriend allowances, they said, and the likes of the pressure that people are getting from social media, And other one. So, Malay, what is your take? And also, what are the possible resolutions to the problems that have been posed to the house?
Uh, I believe that changing a bad lifestyle into a good one is a personal choice. I don't think there is anyone that can really teach you to change a bad lifestyle into a good one. It's a personal choice. So I think the first thing to do would be to set realistic and achievable goals for you, because the goals you set for yourself are integral to your overall success in changing your lifestyle. The second one I would say is to create daily structured activities to the goals that you want to achieve. So you can do this by building activities into a day-to-day that will help you stay on track with your goals. So instead of assuming you will figure things out in the moment, plan activities that you can look forward to help you throughout the day, that pertain you to achieving your goal. Also, make habits that can keep you going, as well as to adopt new habits. Adopt new habits and find a lifestyle buddy. When I say find a lifestyle buddy, basically is to surround yourself with good company or friends. I believe that the friends that we choose also contribute to the decisions that we make. Having good friends around you will help you to think of new habits. It will keep you motivated, and it will give you someone to talk to about the journey that you are now partaking. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Very quickly, I see that there's a POI that's coming from Malova, and also there was a POI coming from Makula. In less than a minute, what are you raising on Malova?
Oh, I would like to comment on the point which was raised by the second last speaker, just prior to the lady who was speaking just now. That he mentioned something like it can be useful to ask those who are living the lifestyle of our desire the tips of how are they affording that kind of lifestyle. From my point of view, it won't be effective, or maybe let me say it won't work out, because most people are not being open enough about their sources of income. Instead, they would lie to you. They would even mislead you to a point that you would even get way too astray, and even get in debt. On the second point I would like to raise is that why is it like most of the problems we are facing as youth of South Africa, they are on the side of Black people? Is it maybe because of the legacy of the apartheid government and so on, as we often say? But from how I'm seeing it, as Black people, most of us, we are enemies against ourselves. So in comparison, I don't prefer mostly to make a comparison between races and so on, but this one, there are compelling reasons for me to end up making these claims about the situation. Most white people, if you may look around, especially in my community, they have direction about their lives, starting from our very same age. When the person is within the university level, at that stage, a white person will find a lifetime partner instead of
We're running out of time, my brother. We're running out of time. Please wrap up your point.
Instead of dating a lot of people, just like a typical Black person. So in that context, I could say as Black people, mostly we are enemies against ourselves. There are several instances whereby we have opportunities to flourish, to go on, to study, and so on. Instead, we choose wrong paths in life. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Malova. Thank you so much for that. In most cases, when I call your name, I used to say Advocate Malova. People will excuse me on that point. So I want to bring very quickly. I want to bring Makula Oriel. You have been raising with POI for some time, because I want us to move to the other motion in less than a minute. What are you rising on, Makula? In less than a minute, we are running out of time. And I see that Chabangu's mic is off. I don't know what's wrong. Let's go.
Okay, let me just add, because I think, I just wanted to, because I'm the one who brought, I think because I'm the one who brought this thing of relationship, and I've brought it from one side thing, whereby I brought it from the middle side. I also wanted to add from this. I think until you fix yourself financially, ladies, right? I think you fix yourself financially, you'll feel like every guy that comes through your way is just there to use you, snake you, and leave. You can't know it's your attitude towards money. Understand? Because it has got a real impact in terms of we need to you ladies, you need to fix yourselves financially. You fix yourself, and you'll never feel like you're in a relationship for love. Because I used to say, remove money from relationship. That's when you'll discover to say no. Most of ladies won't see importance of being in a relationship. Remove sex from a relationship. That's when you'll discover most ladies have got nothing to offer in these relationships. So they must fix themselves financially, and then they must see themselves worthy, successful, and living life. That's when I think we're gonna be able to, as men, having such kind of women will be having direction. But if we can have the ones that Frank is talking about, trust me, we will never have solution until. That's how it is. Thank you, Mr. Malika.
Let me acknowledge the presence of Professor Adolf Vapela on the house. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us. Very quickly, before I allow others to go through, Professor, please introduce yourself to the house. Thank you so much for taking your time, Professor.
Sure, Ali. How are you?
Good evening, Professor. There's an echo coming from your side. Oh, we can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know who's who, Ali.
Not a problem, Prof. There's an echo from your side there. We're going to give you a minute just to sort out the cables that side.
Okay, sharp.
Not a problem. Very quickly, I'm going to take the POI that was coming from Frank. Let me check. I think it was coming from Frank before. Frank, what are you rising on?
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to go with Mr. Maloba there when he said, like, why is it that poverty?
Before you go through, Frank, before you go through, Frank, I see that Shabangu is having some technical issues. Shabangu, can you try to log out or log in again, because you're not on the studio. I don't know what's happening. Please go through.
Okay, can I carry on, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as I was saying, I just wanted to back Mr. Malaba up there when he said, why is it that the poverty, it seems to be a black thing when it comes to youth? Like, sharp, maybe you are right, sir. Because if you can check, most white people, but that's it's not an excuse again. It's just like some excuse that maybe we can try to find, but it's not. Because we can try to argue and say that most white people, they plan financially, so when they start to have kids, and then you find that someone, when he's 21 or 25 years old, he already have maybe some startup money there on site for him, which his or her parents, they put on site for them when they were still young. But then again, it's not an excuse, that one, because I can give you an example that you can be white, I can be black, and then we have the same opportunity, we have the same starting point in everything, but you find that again, in the long run, I'm the one who's backward, because of it's still our main objective, or the main thing that we need to kill as black people. It's lifestyle, guys. Because why do you have to go to the club and then you want to pop up bottles, you want to fill up the tables, you want to be seen, Rowena? Maybe you're working at a certain company that is paying you well, or like, why do we have to do that? Like, we need to start there, like, before we can say maybe this thing is only for black youth and all that. No, go to varsity life. In all these CBDs, go to CBD in Nelspruit, go to CBD in Polokwane, and go to Pretoria CBD.
Please wrap up your point, my speaker. Please wrap up your point.
Okay, Shab, in wrapping up, I'm just gonna say, please, let's fix our lifestyle. Let's leave this thing of trying to compare, or I want to be better than Banibani. I want to be celebrated by saying, Izolo ngifike eklapeni ngaphopa amapotlelo. Like, let me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Very quickly, less than a minute, we are going back to Malova. We see that you are raising a POI so that we can move to the next motion. Very quickly, what are you raising on, Malova?
Ali, can you still hear the echo?
No, sir, we can hear you loud and clear now. Go through, Malova.
disagree. I would like to disagree with the point which was mentioned in the house. The person mentioned something like the point which was mentioned. Just hold on for a moment. Or about ladies who are keeping the criteria of financial stability on their boxes of looking a boyfriend. From my side, I can say there is nothing wrong with those ladies who are looking for a financially stable boyfriend or someone who has money to be able to afford them. So the only problem is when, as an individual, you choose those kind of people. There are guys who are out there specifically looking for that type of people so they can get along since they have similar preferences. This thing of having to choose out what should a lady look for in a guy and so on, actually it is not relevant. As a lady, you should be free to choose whatever you want in a guy. Even if you are looking for money, let it be the money criteria and so on. So you can look for someone you think can be suitable for you, with whom you think is looking for the better criteria, which can be reasonable and convenient for you as an individual.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Molobo, for that. I don't know if there's any objection against that. But before we go through, I want us to go to the next motion. I don't know if, Professor, you have something to say before we take a short break of 30 seconds so that we can move to the next
Okay.
motion.
What I can say is that my name is Adolf and my surname is Wapela. I reside in Pretoria. And then thank you, Ali, for this platform to participate. And thanks to everyone who have joined. And my apologies for being late. At least I have sent notification to Ali that I'll be late. I don't know how much I've missed so far, but then we're looking forward to engage into these matters that has been raised. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I see that Shabangu is having some technical issues, but she will join just shortly. All right. We have to move to the next motion. Can we just take a short break and we'll be back shortly? We'll just be back.
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. Greatest topics of the world like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're coming back from the break. I see that it's getting heated on the comments. On the comments side, I see Blossom and Gera sending a message, joining live. via the YouTube channel. She's saying that young women are becoming smart towards money, financial smart. Let it not be a youth problem. Young men just need to be responsible with their money. And I also see that there is a comment again come from Sharon Komani saying that in short time wasted never again. Bashwa saying the youth, the time is now or never. Big up to Makolo. All right, thank you so much for the comments. Now, I want us to move to the next motion. We will be looking at the lack of employment opportunities. We are aware that there is a high rate of unemployment in South Africa because in the first quarter, according to the quarterly labor force survey, for the first quarter of 2022, the unemployment rate was around about 63.9% for those aged between 15 and 24 years, and it was also 42.1% for those aged 25 to 34 years, which the current official national rate stands at around about 34.5%. Imagine, people are not being employed. The question is that, what is the problem? Because we're aware that most of the youth are unemployed. Because when you look at this rate, those who are between the age of 15 to 24, the rate of unemployment is around about 63.9, which I believe most of them is youth. Why most of the youth are not employed? When we're still saying that we are free, when we're still saying that freedom is coming, when is freedom coming? When you look at the parliament, those who are sitting at the parliament, they're sitting at the parliament at the age of 65. Someone is being called an NEC, someone is being called the president, somebody is called the finance, what minister, or whatsoever minister, but those people, they're old. Those who have degrees, masters, diplomas, those who are having the knowledge, those who have to assist us to make sure that we move the country from A to B, they're not employed. What is the problem in Africa? What is the problem in South Africa? The lack of employment opportunities for youth. I'll start with you, Honorable. I see Professor just went up. I'll start with the lady in the house. Sybil, what is your take on this one? Please unmute. You're muted. Please unmute.
I think that South Africa does not want to see growth, meaning that we still have people, for example, in politics, we still have people who are very, very old, still working there. And I think it's about time we make a change. They need to start employing younger people. I think also we have lack of jobs, illiteracy, lack of hope, and this high unemployment rate is very, very derailing. Like I said earlier on, it is derailing when it comes to school because people are studying, but now people are going to start dropping out because what is the point of staying in school when you know that chances are very high that you won't be employed? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, one thing also that I'll ask as I give others around, people are keeping saying that they are going to school in order for them to be employed. They're not saying they're going to school in order for them to start companies. Imagine. All right, now I'm going to go very quickly to Malova. Malova, what's your take?
On the employment issue, right?
Yes, sir, on the same issue, looking on the issue of unemployment.
I think the main problem of us youth is because virtually none of us is looking up to entrepreneurship. Only a very small percentage is venturing into entrepreneurship. The second point can be the fact that there are a lot of old people who are still employed. In situations like this, it can be best if we reduce the age at which people are retiring from employment. May it be from the public or the private sector. More especially, let me refer to the public sector, since the government has more control on it than it has control on the private sector. Then the second point, what can be? The second point on the solution towards the unemployment rate. This can be the ultimate solution, especially to those who are educated or those who have necessary skills in some specific fields. The solution can be to go outside the country and start their lives there, especially in Europe, if they perceive the environment as not conducive for their own growth. It is one of the decisions I am going to take as an individual. If in South Africa I don't find the opportunity which can be perfect for myself, some opportunity which I don't think it is not suitable for me and the level of my skills, the perfect option can be to go up to Europe, maybe USA, Canada, England, and so on. Those are one of the countries I'm targeting to go to them. Then from there, I can return to South Africa after about 5 years and so on. By that time, I'm going to have some stronger financial muscles to venture into entrepreneurship and maybe even initiate my own company or law firm, and so on. Those are some of the solutions we have. Let us not think only within the pyramid or the ambit of South Africa. If we don't find the point to level it. I can say let us not think within the ambit of South Africa and take our thinking or our solutions to the world at large if it needs be. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Very quickly, I'll move to Makona.
Thank you, Mr. Malekana. On the item of lack of employment opportunities, I'll start to. I think the problem is it's our leadership. We are not led in South Africa, whereby we have got those people who are in positions for the self benefits, not to serve the constituents, of which it's wrong. And then secondly is the technology that we are within, which is fourth industrial revolution. If you can check the technology that we're having now, it's causing a lot of people to be unemployed, because now you do financial accountings and everything at the institution now, just work at the banks and everything. Now comes here, there are apps whereby we are using them from homes and everything, which means they will reduce people who are working within the bank. That the technology that we are using now itself, it's causing unemployment rate to go high. And then thirdly, it's because, like I said, the education system was made to benefit one white monopoly. Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because now you are getting paid for studying. You are being funded by NSFAS to study whatever that you are studying. The next thing, you must go out, look for internship, apprenticeship or learnership. They give you stipend from the government, remember, for you to do all those things. Then when you are done with your internship, remember there's huge difference between practical and work experience. There's huge difference. So now, when you are done with your practicals, remember internships are practicals. They say they want 3 years experience. Most of the posts which are getting out now, they will be saying, no, we want 3 years experience. Where are we gonna get the experience? It's questionable. Now, the post will say you must have license. At least we can afford license maybe from the allowances that we are getting through our study time. Then you must have your own car, especially on the engineering side. They will be saying you must have your own car. How are you gonna have your own car if you were funded by them for you to can study? I mean, you can see to say no. As blacks, we must be aware of that, to say no. The education was made to benefit one white monopoly. And then the moment you are looking in terms of financial, maybe you are from disadvantageous background, it will obviously be a problem to you to say no. You can have your own car. And then solution to all those that I've said is, I believe the education of South Africa is useless. The system should be fought for, just like the way we are fighting we fought for things like COVID-19, so that the education becomes the key to employment, either than being the key to unemployment, poverty and depression. Most people are educated, unemployed, and poor, but yet they praise the useless education system. The darkness is the black minds. We should teach coming generation this reality, so that they go to school knowing the outcomes. And remember, there is being humbled. There is peace, maybe a point, no point of going to school. So youth must know that they go to school, but then they must, then after studying, they must be entrepreneurships. I think in conclusion, I wanted to say, we should stop seeking for a job, but we should be entrepreneurships ourselves. But then financially we are lucky. Thank you, Mr. Malaka.
Professor Adolf, what are you raising a POR on, Professor Adolf?
Okay, Ali, thank you. I don't know if I should make my submissions first in terms of the motion or just go straight into the POI first.
Please start by making a submission and then you'll come to the POI. Then after that, then we'll take Frank and then we'll take Maloma.
Okay, my submissions with regards to the motion is that lack of employment is a very serious and a crucial issue in South Africa, and of which most of the problem does not arise from, I won't say exactly the government, but the system that we have in South Africa. Capitalization is in control of everything in our country. So we are having a very slow rate of industrialization because the capital of our country is in the hands of the colonists and the neoliberal people from outside of our country who do not have.
Let me interrupt you a little bit, Professor. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
I would just like to acknowledge the presence of Advocate Abraham Mohale on the house. You can go through, Professor.
Okay, thank you. As I was saying, the issue of unemployment in our country is mostly driven by the issue of capitalization. So in that case, we having people who do not have any interest for the development or the growth of our country, but they do have interest to the enrichment of their own pockets. That being said, there is nothing that, for example, the government can do, for example, to create jobs. As Cyril also once declared that the government is failing to create jobs. So we have to remove this system of capitalization and introduce the system of nationalization so that we will have control over our capital, and our capital is not in control of those who do not have any good interest of our country. So by doing so, we will eradicate the root of unemployment as a whole, because right now we cannot advise each and every person, as the speaker has said, to become an entrepreneur. I mean, even the business sector is saturated that in a way that each and every business that you think of, it's already existing. So it doesn't make sense that we all have to do clothing business. We all have to brand t-shirts in order to say we are creating employment. Everyone else, currently, if you can see, each and every person now is dominating around the same business ideas. So some of our people are not grown as naturally as entrepreneurs. Some have skills in electrical skills, some they have mechanical skills, some have different types of skills. But people are not looking within themselves which skills they hold. But because of the desperation, each and every person is seeking to become an entrepreneur, hoping that they will become millionaires. This goes to the issue of lifestyle. As the motion, I've missed it. Our lifestyle also is also an influence on how people are choosing this type of gift. Somebody is thinking of selling t-shirts, just like the guy of what is this shoes that is trending? Our brand, best brand shoes in South Africa. What is that one? It's Bantu and the other one. Those guys have succeeded. So somebody else is thinking of doing the same business because the guys have succeeded and they're thinking that they will also succeed. You see? So which is very, 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 very a serious problem in our country. So the problem of
my speaker and address the POI that we have. Wrap up your phone and address the POI so that we can move to the other one.
The problem of unemployment in our country is on the current system that we are in, the capitalization. capitalism in general. So it is the problem that is causing the issue of unemployment. I won't say companies or whatever, because those companies are private companies. They seek only to benefit themselves. So if we can eradicate the issue of capitalism, but and introduce the issue of nationalization and nationalize all other state sectors where the government is in control of everything, the government will have the power to introduce more employment and everything. But now the government can't do anything because they don't control the capital. That's my submission. And on the issue of POI, I wanted to interject or object the issue of saying the robots and the introduction of technology is taking jobs.
Yeah, quickly tackle it so that we can move to the other ones.
Technology is not necessarily taking our jobs. Our country is moving very slow in terms of mitigating that technology. And that is where the problem is. We in South Africa are not growing as like other countries. So we will always be the beneficiaries of that growing technology. So in that case, we cannot blame technology and saying it's taking the jobs of our people and everything. But we should, as a youth, grow more and more faster in terms of our South African technology, so that we can be at the same level with other countries. Otherwise, if we do not do that, the race is too fast in such a way that we will always be the dependent of such. And if such happens, then we are going to benefit the sufferings.
Not a problem. Thank you so much, Professor. I'll move very quickly. I want to move to the other page very quickly. Thank you, Professor, for your submission, and thank you so much for your POI. Very quickly, friend.
Okay, thank you, Ali. My take on this one is that, like, guys, we just have to remember one thing, that South Africa is a third world, and then South Africa being a third world, it's being run by the mafias. So we can argue as much as we want, or the youth need to equip themselves. They need to come up with strategies on how they can solve this unemployment rate. But then this thing is not an individual thing. That, okay, Sharp, you as an individual can come up with those ideas. You can try to have a workshop where you do this, you do that. But at the end of the day, we all cannot have those workshops. So, like, the issue of unemployment is not that the government cannot solve it. Regardless of we having private companies, that one is not an excuse. Because if we are saying the government cannot solve youth unemployment, look in the parliament itself. It's filled, or it has more older people than any other sectors. So what are we saying about the youth on the ground? And then we move from the government, we go we move from parliament, we go to these hospitals. They're claiming that there is no enough doctors in South Africa. How many youth do we have currently that they're sitting at home with those qualifications? The youth that they've been sent to Cuba to study the doctorate, but today they're still sitting at home. And whereas they want to source these other people from the other countries, they made it a point that they shut down all these nursing schools in South Africa so that they can also outsource nurses from other countries. So how are we saying the government cannot solve the issue of unemployment? Because most sectors, they are not they are not national, they are private. So that one is not an excuse, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to blame our government for that one, because it's reality that we are looking at. We can try to defend it, but the reality that we are looking at is the things that we are seeing on a daily basis. That
You're running out of time. Please wrap up your point.
Okay, somehow our government is playing a role in this issue of unemployment, and then we are just trying, or we are avoiding to point fingers on that. These guys, they are failing us. Most people, most youth, we have went to school, we have qualifications in different categories, but still you cannot now up and leave to abroad without having that capital. Where are you going to stay? Like all those things, because you can have those qualifications, but still you cannot wake up in the morning, buy that ticket, go to America or go to Australia as an engineer. Where are you going? With what money are you going there to survive before you can find that job that you are looking for? So it's good if maybe you are leaving South Africa, you are having that opportunity already, you have done the interview and everything. Thank you. I'm I'm just gonna leave it there, Mr. Ali, for the sake of time. You can
All
carry
right,
on.
very quickly, I see a POI that's coming from Malowa. Malowa, very quickly, less than a minute. What is your take so that we can take Advocate Abram? Malowa?
I would like to rebut the point of nationalization of resources in South Africa. I don't think that one can be an effective solution to the problems we are currently facing. If we are to look at the public enterprises we have in South Africa, our government is already failing to maintain them or to govern them already. Then what is going to happen if ever we are to nationalize all other remaining resources we have in South Africa? Do we not think the public officials are going to take them to their pockets the same way they are bringing down the SAA in South Africa, ESCOM, and many other enterprises? That is my point. I don't think it can be an effective solution to nationalize all the remaining resources we have. Already we are failing to sustain the little we are maintaining in the government. Then to move on the second point, the other speaker mentioned that the education system of South Africa is useless. I disagree with that point on the fact that South Africa's education system is the best in Africa as compared to many other parts of Africa. If you may look at our main universities, Stellenbosch, UCT, Wits, and UJ, they are making a very great progress in the competence of the university rankings in Africa at large. Many other youth of Africa are flocking to South Africa to get high quality education. So on that point, I would like to say South Africa's education system is of high quality. We cannot say something is of low quality without comparing it with its neighbors. So in comparison with other parts of Africa, South Africa's education system is the best. On the last point, I would like to mention this other thing which he said. It is unreasonable. I can't quote his exact words, but he mentioned something like it is unreasonable for the government or the employment sector to seek requirements such as cars, such as driver's licenses, and so on. In their context, it is reasonable on the basis that the opportunities already are very less. So in that manner, they are trying to filter few people for the remaining few opportunities if the requirements may be achievable. So it's going to be very chaotic in that sense. So they have to find all possible means to ensure that they have enough filter for whoever they require in their employment sector. They have to take the cream instead of taking the bottom level of the candidates. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Very quickly, I don't see any POI. I don't see any POI that is coming from the side.
No, Ali, we did set the POIs there. No, Ali, you said noted. You say don't see any POI.
All right, we have a POI here. Okay, we have a POI from Prof and a POI from Makona. Sorry about that. Very quickly, I'll allow you folks to go through. Then after that, I'll allow Makona to go through. Very quickly, Professor, while you guys the POI on less than a minute.
I'm going to be very short. I want to make it clear to the previous speaker that the issue of nationalization is not 100% ownership of the state. It's a friendship between the state and the private sector, of which the state is in control of the higher percentage of whatever that may be. So in that case, we are not necessarily giving the state everything in their hands, because it's very dangerous in that case. If should the state be
All right. I think Professor is just saying some issues.
As I was saying, should the state be the state that we do not trust, it can betray us in terms of that mission. So that's why we're saying nationalization. It's a relationship between two partners, of which the state have the highest. Besides, even the private sector, when they're struggling, it's still the state who saves them when they're having financial breakdown. So how can we not trust them in that regard? We get it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think Prof is just having some sound issue set aside.
Yeah,
This is
it's
that
a
one
little one.
from
She wants to
I
join me.
understand.
You see. As I was liking that issue to this guy that nationalization does not mean ownership of the whole state, but it's a partnership between two sectors, and we cannot fear to give states that power because of the current government. We have power to change governments as we like, so we can't always judge the future based on what is happening currently in the government. You can remove that government and introduce a new government, substitute. Keep on substituting if the government does not produce positive results.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much. Very quickly, we go to Makula. Makula, what are you raising a POI on?
I want to make POI on the second last speaker on the issue of nationalization of resources. I think nationalization of resources could work things out. Why I'm saying this? For example, if you can check the people that are now leading us, check from the Constitution of South Africa to say no, you go pension at the age of 60. And then if you still feel like you're powerful, you can go for extra 5 years. But then those people, they are more than 65 years. You see, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong, which means we are led by mafias. If we want to see change, we must also change our voting attitude. That the government is failing us. Nationalization could work everything out. It's just the things that maybe the people that are within the government, they are the people who are looting. So if they are looting, there will be no progress. That's why now they are selling SAAs, they are selling ESCOM and everything because of these tenders and whatever. And then, secondly, on the issue of requirements for work, when he disagrees with me, it means the poorer will remain poorer, because for you to can have your own car from the requirements, you must then go to garage. You must then go to garage, do a loan, or you must then go to garage having a good credit record. How are you gonna get a good credit record if you are not financially stable? If you are from a disadvantageous family? You see, some of the requirements, we won't be able to, which means the poor will remain the poorer, and then the rich will continue to be rich. So on that one, I think the requirements itself, you can't look for a car from me if you have funded me to can study. I think on that one, the government is losing it at all. Hence, I'm saying the education was made to benefit what monopoly. And then the education system is, I said education system is useless because it doesn't benefit us at all. That's the reason why I say useless. Yeah. We can be educated as much, but for as long as the education system doesn't work out for us, I think
we're gonna come to that as a motion. We're gonna come to that as a motion on itself. We're gonna come to it as a motion. We're gonna come to it as a motion, my brother. That one. I want us to wrap up this one, the one for lack of employment opportunities in South Africa. It has been said, as you said, Mr. Makula, that you find that one is an engineer, and there's a poster where you have to go and apply. They tell you that you have to come with a car license, you have to come with your own car. There are a lot of requirements that you cannot meet because, you know, at your home, they never even afforded to take you to school. NSS was funding you. Themselves, they were funding you. Now they want to give you a job, and they give you requirements that you have to come with, and it's impossible for you to come with them. Let's take a quick break, for less than 30 seconds, and then after that, we'll be taking the last motion, which is going to be the shortest motion ever. Very quickly, let's go back to a short break, then we'll be back.
Everything is changed nowadays. Funny how we can't even play no more. It was only yesterday when we party every day. Now it's blood on the dance floor, all because of the virus. But it can't kill the power inside us to stand together and defeat Corona.
أنا وياك البارح كنا هانيين قربان يا. Bad things
قلبي نرد شوية نخرجوا إن شاء الله نعيشوا إن شاء الله Cause nobody's safe until everybody's safe Tuamini nalo litakwisha na tena tutalishinda
All right, thank you so much. I see other speakers that went down. I believe they'll come back. I want us to look at the last motion that we have in the House, which will be the shortest motion ever that we have to discuss, looking on the educational system that has been used in South Africa. Are we actually benefiting from the educational system that is being used in South Africa? That's one thing that we also want to digest in the House because much has been said. Some have been saying that the educational system that is being used in South Africa is not working because they're just teaching people things that they cannot even use, while even you find that they're not able to get jobs. Imagine if you went to school to become a HR and you find it difficult even to start your own firm to become a HR consultant, it becomes a problem. I want to get your views on this one. I will start with Professor Adolf, looking on the failure to succeed in the educational system that is being used in South Africa. Professor, what is your take on this one?
Thank you, Ali. You know, we once had a discussion regarding this issue of education system back then in the show. Ali, the education system that we have in South Africa, it's an application type of education system. We are only applying what we taught. We are not innovative. We are not being creative with anything. So that being said, that type of education system it's very useless and it's time wasting because it won't produce any engineers, it won't produce any successful innovative people, which is the reason why we fell behind in terms of technology growth, as I mentioned earlier on. So our education system is definitely failing us because, like, I mean, it's just 12 years of nothing. That 12 years you can't even produce a child who can invent something in that 12 years because of the way the system is structured. It is just structured to delay us. That's what it does. Because first of all, you're teaching a person, a whole engineer, for example, mechanical engineer, for example, can hold a degree in mechanical engineering, but when they get to a certain company, they still need to apply what is called standard operating procedures of that company. So what was the point of you going to school if the company is still going to give you a booklet of saying you must do 1, 2, 3, you must remove the door before this? You have to follow what the company is giving to you. But you saying you are an engineer, you are the same as the person who just finished matric. That person who's able to read, can still read those steps and then be able to work as an engineer of that whatever automobile company. So this type of education system is very useless and doesn't produce anything. That is why we are unable to succeed, because our education system is not innovative and it's not producing any inventors. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor. Very quickly, let's hear from you, Ola. What is your take looking on the failure to succeed, looking in the educational system that is being used in South Africa? Some are saying that in South Africa, we need to copy the educational system that is being used in Zimbabwe, where you find that one is being taught how to become a plumber, an electrician, and most of them are doing practicals. One of my friends once said that if you look most of the people who are coming from Zimbabwe, you find that somebody's an accountant, but that person has a skill, something that they can also use. That person could also be a plumber, could also be, a carpenter. They do a lot of things, those people. One said, why don't we change the educational system starting from grade 9? After grade 9, there you have to choose whether you want to be a plumber, electrician, whatsoever. If you want to be an accountant or whatsoever, from grade 10, strictly you start that because it's useless. What people are doing here is to copy and paste. Come on, man. What's your take, Mr. Orwell?
Thank you, Mr. Malekan, for this opportunity. On this one, I don't want to be that long, but I believe in South Africa we dwell much on the content-based education, of which content-based education is dealing much with theoretical, of which like the previous speaker has indicated to say no. The education is useless. I'm still saying the education is useless. The education system is useless because now we are dealing much on theoretical, which is content based unit standard. But then when going to the work environment, we are not dealing with such. So now there's this thing called RPL, recognition of prior learning. I think if we can stick to RPL, which is the recognition of prior learning, we'll be able to outsource each and everything. That's when we'll be able to see if the person is capable or not. You understand? That's when we'll be able to competence or incompetent someone looking at whatever that particular person is doing at the working environment. Now, like I said, we are dealing much on the content-based education instead of outcome-based education. Now, for example, you are doing, let's say, engineering from the university or from the college, right? You are doing it theoretical. The next thing now, if you want to work at the mine, they will require you competent. They require you MQA maybe trade. Where are you gonna get that MQA trade? But if we only introduce RPL, that's when we take people to say, no, this person, come work here. You work, we gather your evidence, whatever that you have done through, and then we go apply to see if this person qualifies for maybe a trade, which is MQA trade. You understand? Then you trade, you have a trade test. The next thing when you come back, you must have a competent. You have been doing practicals here. You already have that knowledge. You already have experience of underground. You can be given certificate for maybe of competence. Then you go to work. I think we should introduce RPL, of which it is already there, but because of lacking of information, most people don't know about RPL, of which RPL is more beneficial than the content-based education. Thank you, Mr. Malika.
All right. Thank you so much. Professor?
I would like to add in terms of that, if you can look at the learnership type of education system, that is the education system that is supposed to be used in South Africa. But the capitalists, they are using that in benefit of their companies in order to pay people lower salaries. That is why companies prefer to hire or release learnerships more than they take graduates from universities, because graduates, they hold the higher qualifications, they are very expensive. Instead, they train their own staff, and then they also instill them with theoretical information while at the same time they do practicals. So the learnership type of education system is the type that is supposed to be introduced from high school. Grade 8, learners supposed to start doing practicals and also theoretical things up until they can go to higher learning in the tertiary level. Because I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to teach children theories the whole of high school. We don't have, for example, financial education. We don't know. Most of our children, they don't have that. They don't know what is happening with finances. When they grow up and they get into varsity, they start to struggle financially. They fail to manage their own finances and everything. So those types of education is what we have to introduce at school and teach the children financial education, political education, so that when they grow up, they know how to become responsible financially. They know how to make political choices in terms of which party they have to go. Because at the end of the day, South Africa, we only having a political freedom, which is the freedom to vote. We don't have economic emancipation, which is what we're still striving through. You see, so teach the children, give them the political insights of what is happening in our country, so that they will know which decisions to make in the future. Teach them financially how they should manage their money, because their parents leave them at a young age with a lot of money, but they fail to progress in life. because they misuse those monies, they can't use it properly due to lack of financial skills and education. So our education system should not only focus on the application or content based, as the previous speaker has mentioned, should also focus on the practical side of things, so that people, young ones, can develop interest in it. It's very difficult to develop interest into something that is only theoretical, but you don't know how it works in terms of the in-field wide. So we should introduce that type of education system, so that someone can develop interest in plumbing, someone can develop interest in electrical type of a thing, someone can develop a practical interest in finances and those type of things. So our education system is just 12 years of waste, very bad.
Right. All right. We are about to end the show.
Mr. Malagana, sorry, can I chip?
Yeah, please come in.
I wanted to chip in. I wanted to add from what Prof has just indicated, to say no. In short, I think they must introduce a financial literacy subject in this education, because he is right. We don't know how to manage money, and then at the end they require a lot of requirements, of which those requirements need us on how to utilize our own money, maybe in terms of budgeting, creating a credit record for ourselves, in terms of accounts and whatsoever. But because we don't have that financial literacy subject, we don't know on how to spend money, we don't know on how to utilize money. I think the education system should be changed into RPL, but then they should also introduce the thing so-called financial literacy. It is very important. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, my speakers, the likes of Professor Adolf Profela, Siri E. Makula Oyo. Now, as we're about to end the show, the motion that we have digested tonight in the House, we're looking at the youth lifestyle, the political issues and social issues, lack of employment opportunities, failure to succeed in the educational system. Under the youth lifestyle, it has been said that it's a problem as there is a peer pressure. Most of the youth, they make sure that they want to maintain their lifestyle due to them trying to push what so-called content. Some are trying to copy what is happening on the social media. Also, not to say we're feminists, but some also mention it that you see a lot of women who are having pressure, making sure that they date maybe 5, 7, or 10 guys in order for them to get 7 or 10 boyfriend allowances, in order for them to maintain their standard. It has been said that a lot of guys are going into debt in order for them, to buy expensive cars. It's a problem. And also issues of who's wearing what, where issues. We also spoke about the issue of lack of employment opportunities in South Africa. One of the people who are watching also from YouTube also mentioned that the issue of unemployment opportunities is contributed by who do you know when you go to a company. It's not a matter. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure if you can hear me because I see that Ariel is saying that he's not able to hear me well from his side, but I do believe most of you guys are able to hear me. All right, thank you so much. Professor Adolf confirmed that he's able to hear me. What I was saying was that looking on the issue of lack of employment opportunities, it has been said that it's not a matter of saying that there's no jobs. Jobs are there. The problem is that who do you know in that company? There are connections all over the place. Some are saying that as long as you're not a comrade, you're not going to get any opportunity. The failure to succeed in the educational system, it has been said by Prof and also Makula that it's a problem. The educational system that is in South Africa, it's a problem. Very quickly, I want to start with you, Professor Adolf. Professor Adolf, how do you wrap up the show, looking on the motions that we have digested in the House? How do you wrap up the show?
I think another motion that we were supposed to discuss is the issue of substance abuse as well. It's a very serious and a crucial
We're gonna get
affecting
to
our.
it. We're gonna get to it, Prof. Due to time. Now we
Yeah.
just have to try to do our submissions and closure.
Okay, no problem. Oh, in terms of the submissions, Ali, we have to be very vigilant youth. As this other philosophy from France, it's called French Fanon, if I'm not mistaken, said each and every generation must have the mission and must choose whether they fulfill the mission or they betray it. The youth of 1976, they had the mission and then they fulfilled the mission. But the youth of today, we don't have the mission. Our mission is to go to Twitter and complain, but we do not want to engage into such issues. We have a problem of the issue of fees must fall. That is our mission. We're supposed to fight through that mission and fulfill it. But our youth is not energetic in terms of bringing that forth and act upon it. So we always want to rely on the history of the youth machine back then. We want to look at that history. We have to create our own history as youth and fight towards this oppression that we are facing. The government itself, it's full of old people, so they are oppressing us as youth. So we have to stand on the ground as the youth and fight towards that. That's my submission towards this trip.
Thank you so much, Professor Arif Mafela. We're moving to City E. Makula Odo. Mr. Makula, what is your submission? Looking from motion 1 up to the last motion that we have digested. It's quite interesting because you have been advertising a lot of us in the house. What is your submission, Mr. Makula? Please unmute based on the 4 motions that we had. Your conclusion. Mr. Makola, please unmute. You're on mute.
To the youth of South Africa, youth of South Africa, please get out of that comfort zone and challenge the world with your uniqueness. And secondly, can youth of South Africa change your voting attitude? Because as you already see that the government it's failing us. The leading party, the leading individuals are failing us. They are there for their own benefits. So in the next coming elections, we must also change our voting attitudes. Let's give those who are still seeking for position chance and see if they're gonna serve us. Thirdly, youth of South Africa, can you please stop living to impress? Find yourselves, do self-introspection at the end. What is your mission and vision? You must also have core values as an individual. You understand? So, in conclusion is, we in terms of education, let's think out of the box, because now the 4th industrial revolution is introduced. Now let's check if we're still studying those courses whereby we have the machines who are working on our behalf or what. That one is very important. I think each and everyone must now go back, check if the course that particular person is studying it's already have the machines which can work for their job or not. Because it's very useless to study a certain course knowing very well after the graduate you won't be able to work, and it's very painful because some of you, your families have faith in you, they've invested in you to say no, we are looking forward in you, and then everything for to change our situation. So now let's think out of the box. I think those are my conclusions. Leadership Malagan, thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Before I take Professor Arif Mafela, I see some of the comments come from Amkhalang Letuba, joining us from CS Barlow campus. From the say that student command from CS Barlow campus. She's also joining us. Thank you so much. I see that the Rohani has been commenting a couple of times. Tsapang have been also here, acknowledging the presence of Makula. And we also at the likes of Rebo Bibe, Maboti, saying that the major issues I see at hand, financial literacy of saying that black people as a whole were never taught how to be financially literate. Also, Kang just acknowledging, saying that the topic that we're having is quite interesting. And also Blossom Ngele commenting, saying that young women are becoming smart towards money, financial smart. Let it not be a youth problem. You young men needs to be, I could say, need to be financially responsible. And also see there's a comment here that was also coming from Sharon Command, saying that in short time wasted never be regained. Baswa, it's time now and ever. Big up to Makula. And also see another one here coming from Sharon Command, saying that the rate of unemployment is caused by corruption system of the DOE, mainly overlooking at the entrepreneurial scheme. Looking at Blossom Ngele, acknowledging the presence of Professor Aro. And we also get another comment here that is coming from Mahlokonolo Manebeni, saying that Makula, you're on point. And there's another one also coming from Sharon Command, saying that the unfair part of unemployment rate is caused by who we know. It is never or how capable we are. Okay? I get the point there. And the other one came from Sharon Command. Straight to the point, Makunda. Another one that is coming from Shevali Kamani, acknowledging Professor Aro, saying that indeed, Professor, I also a point of POI come from your side, Professor. Are you rising on? Before we close the show.
Okay, Ali, before you close the show, I wanted to emphasize the issue of entrepreneurship. That thing is just used as a form of deviation from the real problem. We should never emphasize or canvas that issue to our youth and tell them that they should start their business. They waste most of their money trying to start their business, the money that they can use for something useful, trying to start the businesses, of which they don't give them all the information necessary on how you can start your own business and make it alive as it progresses. There are some celebrities that we know whom they have started their businesses, but they are not breaking through because of the capitalism that is there. They are blocking them to give them ways to progress. So the issue of entrepreneurship, we can't use it as a form of solving the unemployment in our country. So we have to give these young ones a clear motivation, help them on choosing the correct streams and courses in varsity, because some courses you can choose them but they are useless. As I mentioned, that our country is growing very slow in terms of technology, so some of the courses we cannot use them currently based on our current education system and the form. So Ali and Comrade Makola, I would like to appreciate your presence. I would like to appreciate this engagement, even though we had some issues as well in my background, but that is not a problem. So to the youth of South Africa and everyone else who's listening to this show, I'm saying to you, go and do self-introspection, emphasizing on the previous speaker who has mentioned, go and do self-introspection, teach yourself political information, get yourself information worldwide, so that you'll make the right political choice, which will help you to shape your country in the future. Whether we like it or not, politics are influencing our daily life each and every day. Oh, I'm saying whether we like it or not, politics are influencing our daily life every day. So we need to have that political consciousness in order to make the right decision, which will be useful in shaping our future and building our youth as it comes. Thank you, Ali.
Poussière à la poussière.
listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. Greatest topics of the world like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali.